Did you ask yourself why they went that far? Was it because there's a good economy in that area? Or there's a school? Or it's because they were being displaced from their own home? It's not a shelter. And they could be killed anyways. They could be killed if some of these things are happening. But ask yourself why they left their home. You're happy that the Nuer has been in UNIMIS for all these years. Was you're ignorant, you don't like the very so-called UN. When you were seeking immigration status, you liked the UN. And now when other people wanted the United Nations, you hated it. Wasn't it the same UN you used in Egypt, in Kenya, in Nairobi, in Ethiopia? That brought you to where you are today, and yet you're advocating for the UN to be removed from South Sudan. When they were the one who facilitated you to live today, or have contributed to your life as you and your family. But because you're so disgraced as a human being and you don't give a damn about others, it's always about you. Why would any person, a normal human being, would oppose the United Nations who happen to be providing food and school and shelter and safety? If the Denka were to go to UNIMIS today, why would I hate it? Or if the Shuluk were to go to UNIMIS, or the Zandi, or anybody in that nation, if they were to go to UNIMIS, what would I hate about it? They seek shelter, safety. Why would I hate that part? But because you are ignorant, you don't think about it. It's always about you. When you're in trouble, you're vulnerable. When others are in trouble, you're sharing them up. If you see what happened in Bimlam today, you cannot even compare it to what happened in Akoba. You can't. Because what is killing people in Akoba is systematic. Just like if the IO were to go and kill innocent Denka, I'll be outrageous myself. But when you have a civilian fight, you try to compare it to the worst thing ever. Calling other citizens rebel when you're doing the same behaviors. The people of Lagos said they're fighting among each other. Why you never call them out? The Twitch are killing each other. The war of Ngog and Twitch that recently took place, none of you talk about it. Why? Because it's Denka versus Denka, right? But at the end, it's a war. It's a fight. People die. People lose their life. And just like some of you say, oh, the Nuer Bantu. I asked this ignorant early that, when was the last time those of us from there we went and fight with Ruin? He say no. But when they come in and live video, they say Nuer. Just like what happened in Nasser. What happened in Nasser was the people of Nasser specifically with no other Nuer involved. The Low Nuer were not, the Gawar were not part of it. It was just specifically within Nasser itself. That's because people are fed up with the behaviors and the killing and ambushing and misleading people. They went and fight it. Do you know how many people lost their life in that war? But no, you don't care. You only focus on your side. You completely disregard other people's side. But if not because of ignorance, war does kill people. People die in war. You're not going to be safe because you're Denka or because you're Nuer or because you shouldn't. When you go to war, you go to war. And when you fight, you fight. Somebody's going to lose their life at some point. But what I'm trying to say is your family are not better than my family. And my family are not better than your family. That's what we continue to preach, a solution to a problem, because the country belongs to all of us. You should not be entitled of it as you own it. You don't own it. Recently, the people of Shuluk were killed. Nobody talk about it. So how is it when other communities are being hurt, you don't say anything, and when you are hurting, you complain? It's the same system you're using, other people are using it. The same hate you're preaching, other people have learned it also, and they're preaching the same hate. Why can't you just say, you know what, we want a solution? You're talking about a country without opposition. What country does not have opposition? Even the United States have more than one opposition. But they never went and killed each other communities. But no, all you good at is you preaching hate. Or Kwan Malloy cannot be a president. Remisha cannot be a president. Mike cannot be a president. Who the hell are you to even dictate that? What gives you the right? Who gives you the right to dictate that? And today, some people went as far as Matthew Puljang is not supporting them. The second highest ranking officer in Division 4 is Denka. So how was it Matthew Puljang give a bull-used weapon without this guy knowledge? Does that make any sense if it's not because out of hate? Ruang, who were living peacefully, I even know Ruang myself. I know some of them. We eat together. We go to church together. We spend like almost our time together. We never had any issues. But they come in and created this tribal hatred, and then all of a sudden we become far away from one another. But some of you cannot even admit that part, that Unity State used to be a country for two cities, two communities, and they were living just fine. Just within 13 years, you completely disregard the whole 100 years of history and frame other communities as the evil one, and you as a good person. You see, like this ignorant asking this question. If you're going to ask me why killing them now, then why killing them then? Why you kill them then? You cannot do other people wrong and expect them not to retaliate or respond. Those of Bullo, those of other Nuer, you continue to push them and push them and push them and frame them and hammer them and call them all names. And you think that it's going to be just like that. Creating war across the country for no reason. And try to blame the IO. The IO who's trying very hard that there should not be a war in the country. The Khartoum Peace Agreement or the 2018 agreement, that alone showed that these people, they want peaceful. Or at least they are civilized to the point that they understand that human life is very important. The IO understand that part. Regardless if you're Denk or you're from Equatorial, your life is important to them, and they wanted you to live freely. But here's you are ignorant. All you do is preach hate. So the Nuer, when they're killing other Nuer in the name of government, you're happy. But till when you gonna play that cover game? You know, till when? Till when? Community are fed up across the country. They are fed up. And if because they don't retaliate today, it doesn't mean that they're done. They will retaliate tomorrow because the hate is maximum right now. So don't come here and try to play innocent game when you are the very evil person who created all this nonsense. You come in on March 1st. When was the last time the Nuer were being killed? Throughout the month of February, it's chaos. But no, yours is the worst. Or even the 2013 one. You completely disregard the 2013 and you jump to 1991. If you, where's the citizenship here? So if every time when something happens, you go back to those old wounds, don't you think other people also have the same wound as you have? How many times the Nuer has been killed by the very system? And when you see it, it's not a governing system, it's a tribal system. Because if it's not, why killing only one community? Why deploying the whole uniform military to terrorize the community? And you call yourself a good citizen? Where's the good citizen here when you don't call out the wrongdoing of the very system that's supposed to be representing you and me? If not because you're tribal-minded yourself. A lot of you guys, especially the Dank of Upper Nile, are the ones who are fueling this hateful crime among communities. Whether it's from Jungule, or whether it's from Pariang, or whether it's from Ruweng, you guys are the most evil people ever. Because you come on Facebook Live all the time, all you talk about is war, 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 war. If 1991 was between Nuer and Denka, why the Ruweng and Mayom did not fight them? Why those of Denka and Rang and Gawar did not fight in 1991? But that's your argument to recruit hate among communities, to convince other Denka that, oh, this war is really between Nuer and Denka. The president started the same thing when he opened his statement in 2013 with the coup. The coup, they say, Riek Machar did not even want to take over power. There is some Denka who want to take power by coup, but it went all silent. Nobody ever talked about it. The only coup that is so bad was the one that was done by a Nuer guy, even though it never happened. Every time when election is nearby, we create war. So as an opposition, why would I create fight when I know the election is nearby? It doesn't make any sense. But you try to convince your ignorant and hateful communities members that, oh yeah, the IO destroyed the peace agreement. How? The unified forces. It was recently Mike McQueen refused to graduate them. But yet you continue to blame Riek Machar for it, or the opposition as a whole. When the fact is really saying that, no, it was not him. You deny the whole video clip that was pressed, that was done by McQueen, stating the reality that this guy there will just go back as white. And we're going to graduate him with his stick. How do you graduate a man who took oaths to protect the nation with his stick? If not out of tribal and hate. You let this guy starving in a base unified force. But in reality, you're deploying and you're giving weapon to others. Like he was giving weapon to Abu Shok to go fight the Shuluk and the Nuer of Ayut. But he could not provide weapon for the unified force. Did you ask why they don't want unified force? Was unified force intention was to protect Riek Machar or to protect the nation? But no, you keep twisting the whole matter and go blame Riek Machar for it. If Riek Machar was really a warmonger, he would not have gone to Juba in 2018. He would not. But because he's a peaceful mind person, he went. What opposition rebel go into the person who is fighting without a uniform or without men that can protect him? What opposition does that? But he gives his life for the sake of the nation. While he's in Juba, you're killing all his entire community. For what reason, nobody knows. If you are really a genuine person, The very person that signed an agreement with you, he's with you within Juba. Why you go around and kill his community's members or his supporters? The Akoba, the Gaiko, he's from Akoba. And they're killing his own community in the name of the government. Where's the government here? Don't you, I mean, you don't have common sense to ask questions? Obviously, if you're a tribal person, even if you're educated as extreme, you're still a tribal person because you're not civil. You don't have civility within you. And some people went on as calling me as a animal and hateful and tribalistic. When I compare myself with him, I was like, I don't see it. I don't hate you. But I can see the hate within your words, the words you choose that you hate me. Within the words you say, you just don't like me to be overpower you or to be holding an office that is higher than yours. Just simply because I'm a nerd guy. All this, you don't ask yourself questions for a country that belongs to all of us. Even if the Denka were to be the largest community out of all, what happened, it should not happen within the federal system itself, leave alone the government. If not because this tribal is injected into it, it should not happen. You cannot hold the defense finance, the highest office, all this, the security sector, all this can be held by one community. It doesn't make any sense. And if the Nuer were to hold all those offices, I'll say, yeah, I think it's become a Nuer system. Because it's obvious, but yet you continue to deny the facts and just try to justify them. You're telling people don't join the IO because the IO is Nuer. How is it Nuer when it's an opposition party that want to govern that nation? So you guys need to stop the ignorant and speak the truth. Otherwise, we will finish ourselves. Because the more you think you're better than me, the hateful, I'm going to hate you. Or the more I'm going to hate you. And the more you hurt me, the more I'm going to hurt you too. When is it going to end? People are suffering. People are bleeding. And if you think only yours is the one that bleed more, you're pathetic. I'm not trying to hear. I'm not here justifying what had happened, but what I'm saying is why. Recently, the Abushok was talking that they will go to Nasser and make the people of Nasser speak Dinka. What have you said about that? That's a hateful statement there. You didn't say anything. You were okay with it. Or you even more happy that the people of Nasser will speak Dinka. I mean, I can speak Dinka because I wanted to, not because I'm being forced. But when you force somebody to something without their own choice, then you are marginalizing. So if that person has a power to react, they will react to you, right? But you created it. You're the one who created the hate. You forced them to take arms. You forced them to fight you. So don't be a hypocrite where when things happen within your community, oh, it's a normal. The sooner other community come in and react, oh no, this is not good. So the government should intervene in Ruweng to protect the people of Ruweng, and then go to Akoba and kill all the Akoba citizens. Don't you look stupid with such a statement? So you want the government to go into Ayod and kill all the Nuer, and then go to Ruweng and protect all the Dinka. Does that make any sense? What humanity do you have here? When the better system that's supposed to protect you and me, you support them to kill me, and yet you want them to protect you. Let's be reasonable, man. Let's be reasonable. And let's speak the truth. And let's say who's really destroying this country. I'm pretty sure those who in Ruweng, Bimnam who die are innocent. But you, those of you on social media, are the one who creating all this hate. And then you're going to come in and blame me and say I'm the person who's creating tribal. When I'm really, like right now, I'm pointing out your own word, your own behaviors. Those of us who like keep telling them, stop tribal, don't be a hateful person. But no, they will not. Anything that hurt me, they're in favor of it. So they make me just vulnerable, where I just say, you know what, I have to protect myself because I'm alone on this. And if protecting myself made me to become extremist, so be it. Because I left with no choice but to protect myself. Before we become independent, we have no issues among ourselves. No issues. Some of us are colleagues in school, some of us are in church or whatever, or even live within the same community. We didn't have any issues. So why all of a sudden the Denka decide to hate Nuer and then Nuer hate Denka, or the Denka hate Chuluk? For what reason? Dividing people among communities just to make sure that they get busy killing each other. But what bothered me the most is you supporting that killing. I'm not getting bothered by the government targeting the Nuer. I'm just bothered by you as a Denka citizen supporting the same killing. So don't come here and try to give us bullshit and nonsense and try people to sympathize with you. I mean, you can grieve on your own and let me grieve on my own. Because we are all, at this point, we are all grieving. But if you're going to pick your grievance to the highest level and then you drop mine to the lowest level, you are ignorant. You are ignorant. You calling the government to come and kill me, and yet you call them to come and protect you. You're a pathetic person. You don't have humanity within you. Always spreading hate among communities, blaming the IO who trying their very best. I've known some fine lawmakers within the IO that just are so beyond, have passed something called tribalism. They don't even want to hear. And they're a member of IO. But when some of you are talking here, especially my friend from Ruweng, you call those people as evil people when they are very, I mean, this lady, she went on and called those of Paruga. I mean, those are just innocent people. But the only thing he's calling them out for is because they're Nuer. So when things happen, when things go wrong, we see ourselves as Nuer versus Dinka. It's the same system, Shushu. It's the same system. Out of it was better. This system is very bad because it created a lot of, it brought a lot of hate among communities who have absolutely no issues. I mean, to the point now is a Nuer girl cannot be married to a Denka, a Nuer guy cannot marry a Denka. That's how evil this people has been pushing these tribalists. These same things. The Boer people, they will be married to Nuer women, but it's hard for a Nuer guy to marry to a Boer guy, lady. You see the hateful here? And people don't mention this stuff. Those people of Ruang, they used to call them Nuer back in the day. And the very people who used to tease them a lot are people from Ngog and Tut, and a few from Awil. Because they have the same mark as Nuer. Their behavior is the same thing as Nuer. They have no differences at all beside the area of where they live. But all of a sudden, Abiemnum become just pure Denka and they've been hit by Nuer. Just to spread hate. We are here busy, starving, and the very person, the masterminded, is benefiting from it. Like if you call the IG government, why can't I call the IO government? They represent my view, just like the IG represent your view. But we want that not to exceed to the point that communities members can lose their life because they supported something. Why would I kill a Denka person because he supported IG? But some of you here would support the IG to kill me. You see the line here, they're not parallel to each other. They completely, it's like a magnetism where you try to attach two magnets at the same time. The use of Ruang has recently fought with the use of Mayom. And some use Mayom will kill. And that's really what brought this retaliation to about. But that's when you reinforce hateful among communities, they're going to hate each other. When I come here, I'm telling you the reality. I'm questioning things. I'm not just assuming how you feel. Those of you from Ruang, I'm watching you guys on live videos. I've seen the way you talk. The same thing with some of the members from Lagos State. I've seen you guys talking. I've seen the ignorant. I've seen the hateful. I've seen the tribalism. If you see me coming on live sometime, it's like, if you're a new person, protect yourself. But not once have I ever told somebody to go in and kill other community members. I never did. But here you are, you come in on live video, purely frame everybody, went even at a community fight, and you frame the whole thing. The same thing like the Nasser incident. Those were used from Nasser. They were not even IO. But because you want it to be a big deal, you say, oh, the IO went and attacked base of Majur. When Majur and the base of IO, they've been in those areas for more than 10 years. Since the agreement was signed in 2018, they never fight among each other. But when the use of Nasser say enough is enough, and they took it upon themselves to fight it, it took them 3 days. It took them 3 days to overrun the base. 3 days. I'm pretty sure when two military are facing each other, it doesn't take 1 day. It finished within the hours, and one side will be defeated. But because this one was a civilian fight, it took them 3 days. Dominic, you're one of the few guys who really don't do these tribalist things. And I admire you for it. But there are some people here who are just hateful and will continue to preach the hate. Today you attack me, tomorrow I attack you, and then life goes on. The cycle of killing continue. When we should say we become civilized people, let us have peace. Let us have boundaries. You're not going to say, oh, the only reason Ruang has been split from Unity State because you guys are evil. That alone will not bring peace. And you call yourself citizen. Where's the citizenship here when you want to hurt other people? But it's because the higher system itself is the one who's really doing all this, or supporting these ideas. Because if we had a unified force earlier, and then we went for a fair election where losers go home and the winner take it, we would not be where we are today. But some people don't even want to go for election because they fear of losing their power. And when they lose their power, they have nothing. That's really what they're defending. Like those of Martin Lamoro, or those of Taban Dengai, or those of Tutkal. What election would any one of them win? What election? Or those of Lolgarkot? Or those of Again Machar? Or those of Ateng Wake? What election any of them can win? None. And that's why they rather just maintain something that is so hateful, divided to the communities, and then they maintain what they have. And instead of killing the Nuer, why not just say, you know what, let's go for an election. Let's do registration. No government will go into the Nuer area until things calm down. I heard Dr. Regmacher talking about disarming at some point. That the disarming will not just happen in one community. It would happen in all communities across the country, because he does not want other community to be a victim of others. And Lao community were the victim of disarming. They took their weapon, and then a couple of days later, they were attacked by Murli. So as a leader, you learn from the past so you can do it better. You're not going to disarm one community while you're arming other community. Just like Michael McQuaid was talking about this, disarming the Lao Nuer while giving the Red Belt weapons. Where's the fairness here? Don't you think that would bring chaos? Because the Lao Nuer, they're not going to accept to be disarmed while the Red Belt are being armed. Or the Abushuk, you disarm the Shuluk and then you arm Abushuk. Where's the fairness here? There's no fairness. It's nothing but marginalization after marginalization, maintaining the power while these citizens kill each other. And continue to go on as this. I mean, when Yuan Banya was killing the dose of Gaja, where was Yuan Banya? Was Yuan Banya supporting Remashar or supporting Dr. Garang? Why didn't Dr. Garang tell Yuan Banya not to do it? Or Mark Alqual, who's in Akobo right now? Why Kid did not tell him not to kill Nuer of Akobo? Did you ask yourself like that as a citizen? Why is this happening? No, you did not, because you don't care about the well-being of those people. The only thing you care about is your own well-being. But don't you think that the very neighbors of yours can see that you are living happily while he's suffering? You want to maintain the pain to continue with them, but yet you want to be happy. Don't you think they want to be happy just like you are too? Since 2013, the Nuer have never rested. Where's the peace here? Shouldn't you be concerned as a citizen that the Nuer should not be treated like that, or the Chula should not be treated like that, or the Denka should not be treated like that? We are all bleeding the same thing. And we are going nowhere from that country. All of us, we're not going anywhere. And anybody have a right to run for public office. Anybody. You, me, anyone can run for public office. You don't dictate who should run and who should not run. You go dictate that on your voting. When you go vote and then choose whoever you choose, that's fine. But you're not going to come in publicly over here and say, you, Kwame Malwal, you will never be president of this country. Who the hell are you to say that? But I've seen some of you saying this clearly. Riek Machar will never be president. Why? Riek Machar have supporters. Let his supporter elect him. You go elect your own person. That's what a civil person would do. But because you understand the game that is happening within the country, you come out arrogantly and say, you will not do it. Just like what Kwame Nyang did. If Kwame Nyang and Riek Machar were to go in and stand for an election today, Riek Machar will win over him. Is that because of Nuer vote and Denka? No, it's because of South Sudanese vote. But Denka will support Riek Machar. But you will see only a few who will support Kwame Nyang, including among the Denka themselves. Or even if Kiru and Riek Machar were to go for election today, Riek Machar will win it. And they understand that part. That's why this war is continuing. That's why it's the non-peace agreement is always being break out. It's not because Riek Machar is a bad person. It's because these people, they're afraid that Riek Machar will win it. That's the only fear. You can bring any other Nuer person, including myself. It will be hard for me to win an election because yet I'm not well known. I'm not popular. Yes, I happen to be a Nuer guy. Or you go bring another candidate, don't bring this guy here. Why are you choosing my candidate? Let me choose my candidate. It's just like me saying that no Denka should be brought to public. The only person that I want to run for this office is Garang Mabur. If you bring Garang Mabur, we're going to go for election. But if you don't bring Garang Mabur, we're not going for election. That's because I'm confident that I'm going to beat Garang Mabur, right? That's why I say that. Otherwise, there is other Denka who are very talented that could run for public office. But I dictate who should be running. Those are also part of the tribalism that we're talking about here. A tribalism that ended up hurting us among our communities. We don't have a systematic here. And you are a citizen until you learn civility, we go nowhere. The hate will continue among ourselves. The killing would always be there. If it's not today, it's going to be tomorrow. And at this point, we kind of learn that reality. We learn that norm of life. Revenge after revenge, retaliation after retaliation. But if we really live in peace, what can bring the killing? What is it? The people in Mayom, they're happy within Mayom area. They can do their things where they're not being interrupted. Recently, there were 2 boys that were sent to Twitch, and those 2 boys will fire a squad. What system does that? You fire a squad citizen in front of other community members to see that we fire a squad them. What do you think the retaliation would be to such a thing? Even the Nuer Bull themselves, they were splitting in that matter because it was so painful. Those are the things that we try to maintain, and some of you maintain. What happened in Twitch, the same thing happened in Ruang, or Bimno. It's responding to bad behaviors. When you kill other people viciously, they will respond. Like what happened in Ayod or Akoba or in Nyorol. Those are vicious. And when you kill somebody viciously, they will respond to you. Just like what happened within Gambela between the Anuak and the Nuer in Gambela. The Anuak went in and ambushed them in a bus and killed all their citizens. Guess what the retaliation was? Revenge. Because the pain that was put in them, they want to respond back to it. You can come here and write all you want, we're happy or we're not happy. What I'm saying is, don't judge me on your current, start judging me on your behaviors. Judge me when you're killing me yesterday. And then start the judgment from there. Judge me when you are supporting the Akoba war or the Ayod war. Judge me then, and then come a long way until March 1st. Don't just come and grab it from March 1st. Go back to February and come all the way. Accept that, and then I will accept mine. That's civility. Don't just start it with yours. Don't start the war of South Sudan of 1991. Go back to 94, go back to 96, and come a long way. Go back to 93 and come a long way. That's civility. Civility doesn't start with when you're in pain. It starts also when I was in pain. That is a civility. Don't just grab yours and run with it. Grab mine with it too. That's civility. Civility does not dwell on your life. It's all of us. So you're not going to disregard everything happened in February and you just grab the March. You're not going to just grab the 91 and disregard what happened in 86. Accountability, right? I like accountability. So when you come in here and try to be defensive, let's do that accountability. So you're not going to come in here and point out my wrongdoing towards you, but you completely disregard your wrongdoing toward me. It doesn't make any sense. There's no humanity in this judgment. So don't go there and rally behind the IG and kill me indirectly in the name of government, when we know it's not a government, because the government should not be killing civilians. What you have is a system, and that's why the Nuer are victim of that system. The Nuer should not be a victim of government, or the Denka should not be a victim of government. It should not, or even the Shuluk should not be a victim of government. But if you're going to support a system that is hurting me as a citizen, and you call yourself a civil person, a good person, what is good about you here? And then you come in and call me I'm a tribalist mind person when you are the one who's supporting a system that is killing me as a citizen. You dictate how I move within the country as you are over superior me. For what reason? The Nuer of Ayo did not go to Padang and say, hey, we're going to teach those Padang to speak Nuer. Or the people of Akoba did not go to Jongole and say, hey, let's kill all the Jongole people. They did not. It was the Jongole who went to Akoba. Why don't you start it there? Why don't you just grab it from when it's favoring you, that's the pain. But when it's favoring others, It's not good. Well, where's the civility here? And you framing others to be tribalist people when you are the very person who is really creating all this chaos. So don't go behind system and hurt others and call it government. And yet when the Nuer went behind IO, you complain. You see the ignorant here? And even me last time I come outside, as I said a video, I was like, why would an IO allow the government to terrorize the supporters? The IO should protect the citizen. Just like the government is protecting, so do IO should protect the citizens. Right? And I say IO should not be silent. I said this in a war that took place in Lat, because the people of Lat were vulnerable, they were being killed, but the IO was there, did not say anything. So I call out the IO for not taking their responsibility correctly, because they should not let the people of Dr. be killed by a government. And they call themselves protecting the people of Lat. But people of Lat were displaced. The same thing in Nasser. The Iowa base was not that far away from Majur base. If the Iowa was really playing the game that some of you are playing with the IG, they could have involved in that war. But they did not. But yet some of you still don't want to give them credit, just because simply they're Nuer. So when we judge your ignorance as a Dinka, you say, oh, no, I'm a government. And then when we come in as a Nuer citizen, you say, oh, no, you guys are IO. You see the hypocrisy here? The double standard? You're hurting others, and when they hurt you, it's not right. This is totally wrong. But when I'm hurting you, when you're hurting them, this is great. They should be pushed to Ethiopia. That's what some of you were saying. All the Nuer should be pushed to Ethiopia. Especially my Ruang friends are the one who was saying that. And those of Rung and Malut and all this stuff. You want to push all the Nuer to Ethiopia. Don't you think you a little bit extreme and ignorant? You try to grab our problem when it's hurting you, but when it's hurting me, it's not a problem. It's not right. So I just want to come out and point out that if you're going to start civility by questioning me being targeted and then questioning you being targeted. I know that's what you do. So when it's killing the Nuer, it's a government. Why don't you question the government then? As a citizen, question the government. Say, don't kill the Nuer, because the Nuer are citizens of this country. Say that. If you're from Ruang, tell the government not to kill the citizen of Nuer because they are part of this country. That's what a civil person would say. Right? Say it. Say a government should not arm themselves to attack any community because it's a government. Any community, not just Nuer alone, any community in South Sudan should not be killed by government agents. Just like the Iowa should not be killing Dinka citizens. The White Army and Abu Shok and Agwelek, they're the same things. So how is it the White Army of Nuer become evil, yet Abu Shok is an angel? Or Agwelek is an angel? Or Dudkubany is an angel? Those are all militias. They're civilians some of them are not even trained. But yet you frame other communities, militias, as the worst, and then your militias are the greatest. Such a double standard. We all have pain, all of us. Nobody does it. But when you judge me extremely, and you forget the pain that you created, you're pathetic. And you're not civil. You're not. Because you're okay when I'm hurting. Even when I'm trying to explain to you that this is painful, you're just like, oh, no. Nothing is above the law. What law? The law that hurting me? Is that what you call law? They were fighting in Lagos State. When did the government went and bomb them? It never happened. They were fighting between Nog. When did they went and bomb them? Didn't happen. But constantly we have seen it, the Nuer area being bombed, and you, pathetic, didn't say anything. As a citizen, you should speak up because the country belongs to all of us, right? As a citizen, you should question a government because that government is supposed to be representing you and me. But when you like what he's doing toward me, I guess it's not a system that belongs to all of us. You can call it Denka, you can call it a Ruang system, you can call it a Bimnam system, whatever that is. Because you support that it hurt others. So you are this way and I'm this way as a Nuer guy. You as a Denka guy or Denka woman, you are this way. Is that what kind of system is that? So you're preaching hate, and yet you think that I should be okay with that. It doesn't make any sense. Investigate, find out what happened. Like right now, as I just saw in a statement where they say, the government is going to go to Abimnum and investigate what happened. Why don't they go to Akoba and investigate what happened? Or go to Ayut and investigate what happened? So when the killing is happening in your area, no investigation. When it's happening in Denka area, there's investigation. What to investigate there? I mean, you know exactly what's happening, right? Why don't you investigate what happened in Ayut? That was just recently. It was a week ago. But because the system that we have is not for all of us. That's why some are even investigating what happened in Malakal. And if you see the killing of those Shuluk in Malakal and the killing happening in Ayut, it's the same behaviors. People were being shot at head and chest. There's a hate there. It's not a war. That's somebody you shoot within distance. That's where you aim to the head. Or somebody you fire a squad, you shoot them in the head. So a Nuer guy is being killed the same way the Shulu guy was killed. There's hate here. Because there's a pattern of shooting. The way you shoot these people, it's the same thing. Don't you think that would be a question as well? Why all of a sudden this specific target is shooting people in the head? What is it about head? It's because somebody's looking at you like this and that's you just shot them within less than 20 feet away. That's why all the shots are the same thing. I'm not saying it's the same shooter, but the same person who shot in Ayut and the person who shot in Malakal have the same behavior or share the same behaviors. Where they get their victim into close distance and then shoot them or fire squad them. Yeah, you loot them, they loot you. Those are normal things. They're not new things. The looting, the cow looting is something we had before we even have a country. So you just get lost. Don't try to bring it here and try to convince me with it. I know that myself, that the cow looting is something that we have within ourselves for many, many years. It has nothing to do with Kir government. Absolutely not. So don't try to bring it into an argument. Oh, when is it we're going to stop looting? When are you going to stop looting? Those of Twitch and Mayom, they loot each other all the time. And till this day, they loot each other. They go and grab, they loot the Mayom cow. They go sell them in Twitch, and then they loot the Twitch cow and then go sell them in Ladder. That's what looting is. That's outlaw. Do you understand the word outlaw? That's not law. So that's why you just loot back and forth among each others. Or those of Nyong and Lake State, they loot each other's. Or those of Morley and Boer, they loot each other's. Those are normal. And it's been there before we even have a country. So get out of here with your nonsense. All right? Don't just frame the Nuer as the one who's looting when you are looting too. Who doesn't like cow? You like cow. So what is it? What doesn't make any sense? Somebody who like cow will not go loot cows? The only people that I know who don't loot cows are the people who never own cows. But if you see those of Murle, those of Denka, those of Nuer, they're all cows looters, all of them. And we know why they do it. Because it happened to be part of their they're married with it. That's why they loot each other's cow. You loot from Nuer, you go get married in Denka. You loot from Denka, you go get married in Nuer. That's how they do it. So get out of here with your nonsense argument. All right? Yeah, whatever, man. You see, you people who err in their opinion, you threat them. Who give you a right to threat other people, if not because of your ignorant person? I should not, like me, I should not threat you. I should not be threatening you. I should not, because you happen to be a citizen just like I am. Why would I threat you? But the same crime that you're committing, you blame the Nuer for it, and then when you get blamed for it, you say, "Oh no, that's not me." Get out of here, man. I mean, even when we were a kid, our cows in Ladder were stolen, and then I think they're quite sure those are normal things. Even in the 70s, I experienced that myself. Where we took cattle and then somehow we lost some of them. Where did they go? Nobody knows. And the Nuer, they don't loot each other when it comes to cows. But the Denka will loot Nuer, the Nuer will loot Denka cows. That's true. All right? So don't try to come here and just say it's a Nuer thing. No, it's not a Nuer thing. Morley loot, Denka loot, Nuer loot. The only Nilotic who don't loot are Shilluk. But that's because Shilluk, they don't do to cow that much. I think they're the only group among ourselves. They don't deal with cow. But those of us who deal with cow, my friend, we all looters. So if it ended up killing a lot of life today, just accept the reality. You done it, I done it, we all done it. Okay? Today it take more life, and but that's what it is. So, but don't come try to frame me with it like it's my DNA. It's your DNA too. Okay? If you're Denka, you loot cows. Why do you think that some politician in South Sudan now become so wealthy with cow? Where did they get this cow from? Even the president of Uganda now become super wealthy with cow. Where did those cow come from? Did you ask yourself? But it's just those things those are tribal hateful things that you try to smear one community with something that you all participated in it. Like right now is why would Boer people has more cows than Law people? It doesn't make any sense. But because they loot from low and they took them, and you all don't want to talk about it. Simply because they're Danka but you don't question how did they get those cows, but yet you continue to blame the Nuer with looting cows when they're the one who are losing their cows. My late mother lost her cows. And it was something that she hated the most. Those were her survivors and what they looted it. And then she lost them all. So don't superior other citizens. As we have right just like you have right. Don't put my right down because I'm a Nuer guy. Just like I will not put you right down because you're a Danka guy. Let's speak honestly. You cannot just call the Nuer evil when here you are, you calling somebody close to you and then you shoot them in the head. Where's the goodness here? Or you cutting a child throat? Where's the goodness here? Those are the things that we try to say. Let's move beyond those things. But some of you don't want it. You cannot put the community down. It's just, even the smallest community in South Sudan, if we continue to push them, it will get to a point where they say, you know what, enough is enough. With their number, they will retaliate. The smallest community in South Sudan will retaliate. Because you cannot keep somebody in pain and assume that it will continue to be that way. The slavery, majority of white people say they're going to maintain the slavery, but guess what? It did not work because there's a lot of black people who oppose it. Black people, not white. Black people opposed the slavery for many years until some of the white people become part of their side, and then they will overcome the entire thing to be abolished. But no, you don't want that. You think that you can keep somebody in pain. It's not going to go for too long. Even the Arab did not keep us in pain for too long. The Arab, they did not. Because we continue to suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer until we want it. And that's why we have a country today. So you cannot push somebody for too long before you start to get hurt. And if that's what you want, good luck with it. But what I'm saying is, don't start South Sudan problem in March. Go back, maybe, let's just say February 1st, and then come up. February 1st, see what happened, what region, who was the victim and why. And then that's accountability. Accountability does not start with yours, it starts with mine too. That's what you say, you're holding people accountable. Right? That's what I call accountability. At least, do I need to say accountability in Denko or Nuer to be understood? I think I'm okay with accountability. So accountability is start judging you, me, everybody. Okay? Don't just come and judge me and call that accountability. That would be unfair. Unfairness. So let's be fair. All right? Let's be fair. And acknowledge that we are all grieving.